This is something to talk about from the Bainbridge Island Senior Community Center, which we get together online or sometimes online and in person several times a week. Today, we're going to be talking about the Kitsap Humane Society. Michael Bush from Kitsap Humane is with us. I want to start by thanking our sponsor, which is Fieldstone Communities of Bainbridge Island. They offer respite care, day stays, as well as assisted living and memory care and independent living up on Rolling Bay. To get a tour or learn more, call 360-594-1010. And we'd like to begin by acknowledging that we are meeting on the ancestral homelands of the Puget Sound Coast Salish people, the people of the clear salt water, our neighbors to the north, the Suquamish tribe. We are grateful to them for their hospitality, and we honor their heritage in these lands and waters since time immemorial. Michael, I am very happy to have you here. Thank you very much for joining us to tell us a little bit about Kitsap Humane Society and what you're up to. I have a particular interest in finding out about the senior to senior, senior citizens, senior animals program, but I know you have a lot of other things going on as well. So why don't you just, bring us up to date on what's new or what's old, what's reliable with Kitsap Humane?
I'll tell you, it's a strange place to work and a really exciting place to work. There's always something new going on, and a lot of events and fundraising activities and things like that. But you opened with the senior to senior program. What we're doing is we have quite a few senior animals, and what we consider senior is anything that's older than 7 years old. For dogs and cats, and we those are some of the animals that are a little bit harder to place, because you get young families that are looking for a dog that's going to want to go for a run on the beach or play at the park and jump in the pool, and some of these senior animals, they're healthy, they're happy, but they're not as active as they used to be. They would much rather just lay on your lap and take a nap, or lay in their bed and have a little bit of food and lay in front of the fire and watch the world roll by. So
Oh, that sounds like some of us.
it sounds like me on a
I was going to say, it sounds like my kind of person, dog or critter.
No, and they're terrific animals. And I actually have one living in my office right now that he is a little afraid of the other cats. So they asked if they could move him into my office, and he sits on my lap while I type, and he runs around and just kind of explores things, but doesn't do a lot. But he's just the best guy, and his new thing is he likes to sit on my shoulders as I'm typing. So
It sounds like for people who might be watching that, in many ways, the joy of having a companion pet is wonderful. The challenge of having a baby pet is daunting. And so this kind of is a perfect situation maybe for some of the folks who might be watching us today.
Absolutely. And we have a behavior staff here that works with all the dogs. So if someone comes in and they want a particular dog or a cat that they want a dog that's not going to dart for the door every time you open the door, or a cat that's not as we say, spicy as others. They've evaluated every single animal in the shelter. They know their habits. They know what kind of family they'd be good for, what kind of environment, whether they'd be good in an apartment or they need a fenced yard, that kind of thing. So if you're looking for a particular animal for your particular situation, this is a terrific place to go. We have some very, very smart, very, very dedicated people working here. And like I said, some animals that just, they're a little later in life, then they need a good home to live out the rest of their days in.
So you were mentioning the idea that people can sort of have a chat with somebody about what might be an appropriate animal given their lifestyle, what they do, whether they have another cat or they their kids have a dog that they bring by or whatever it might be. So if I were interested in following up on this, would I next step is to go to the Humane Society or make an appointment or?
No, absolutely. Just come down. We're open Wednesday through Monday. We're closed on Tuesdays for catching up on paperwork and things like that. But Wednesday through Monday, noon to 4. And the line usually starts at about 10:30, 11, and people sign in and they'll fill out a little bit of paperwork to let us know what kind of animal you're looking for and what kind of circumstances you're living in, and they'll find the right animal for you. Like I said, right now we've got a lot of terrific cats, some really great dogs, and more coming in. I was told this morning we have a bunch of tiny little terriers coming in. I think later today. I think 6 of them is what they told me. But also, again, our behavior people, they will sit down with you, and if you have a cat, they'll tell you which cats get along good with other cats. They'll tell you which dogs don't get along good with other animals, and they're very, very good at what they do.
And you also have a pretty active volunteer program, I understand. I think I know folks who have helped out with maybe doing some of that behavioral or walking with some of the pets that are there. Or can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, I'll tell you, we could not run this place without the volunteers. We run things on a bit of a shoestring budget. So the volunteers are just absolutely invaluable resource. We have about 400 volunteers at any given time, and some of them, they'll come in for an hour or two a week, and we have others that are here more than I am. We have a guy named Fred Voss, who I think he's here every single day. He comes in around I think 2 or 1:30 or so, and he walks probably 20 dogs a day around. We have a little track going through the woods that they can walk the dogs through. And Fred's here every day. We another volunteer, Molly Clark, she's here all the time. But others are, and it's a lot of seniors, but also recently a lot of young teens have been coming in, and they stop by after they're done with school and walk the dogs around, and it's a pretty amazing place.
One of the things that I tell people who are interested or considering volunteering here is the joy of volunteering is if you have something come up, you get to just say, I'm not going to be able to make it.
Yeah.
Not so easy for those of us who are working, but for those of you who are volunteering, it's a wonderful way to keep involved and you get to call the shots. Sheila, did you have a comment?
I do. No, a question. Oh, several questions actually. So if I wanted to, Mike, if I wanted to get a critter from you, a cat, a cat. First of all, how much would it cost for me to do that? What about the the vet's cost and all of that kind of stuff? And do you give anything like litter and food and stuff for the new time owner?
So we do send you home with a package of food and some supplies. Also, we have for folks that, we have a lot of people in the community that simply, the times being what they are, have trouble affording pet food and things like that. And we have something called the Pet Food Pantry here, where people can come up and get free food and treats for the cats and dogs and snakes and birds and whatever else they might have. And it's completely funded by donations from the community. Some really nice people from Holmberg Mechanical came in yesterday and dropped off about 400 pounds of dog food.
Wow.
And Petco and PetSmart help us out. The Z-Bones out of Bainbridge Island, the pet food place or pet supply place out there, they're a big supporter. We just have a really great network. As for the cost of the animals, It kind of varies, and I had to write these down so I wouldn't forget, but depending on the age of the animal and in some cases their health. Kittens, right now, kittens are generally about $175. But if you want to take home two, which we encourage, there's two for $300. Puppies are generally around $300, but the adult dogs usually about 150, give or take. And then cats are, hold on, I got to look at my notes here. Cats, if they're right around $100, but any of the senior animals, which we consider to be 7 years old or older, the cats are $40 and the dogs are $75. We also have a program for military veterans that it's called Pets for Patriots. And if they come in and adopt a pet, 50% of the adoption fee is reimbursed to them. So that's kind of a nice program. And then we also, it's not just cats and dogs. We have guinea pigs and snakes and we brought in 4 finches the other day. We occasionally have a goat. We've got an ungodly amount of bunnies right now. We have a menagerie, and we're building a large animal barn at the south end of the campus, so we can, right now, when we also control the animal control for all of Pierce County and Mason County. So occasionally our animal control people will bring in a sheep or a goat or a horse or something. And up until now, we've had to home those off-site. Starting, I think, next week, we're going to be able to house them on site because our barn will be finished. So,
Well, that's a big project. That's great to hear about.
We've if you haven't been up here in a while, you should stop by. It's pretty amazing. I adopted my dog here 7 years ago, long before I worked here. And when I came up, it was one little building, and they were way over capacity. In the past 7 years, they've done significant additions to the facility, including this barn I was just talking about. But the most exciting part is we opened up it's called the Russ and Linda Young Veterinary Life Saving Center. And what it is it's an animal hospital where we are now able to do low-cost surgeries for families who can't afford veterinary care. So, a lot of the animals that come in, there we go. A lot of the animals that are brought in are surrendered to us because their families simply can't afford their veterinary care if they have, some intestinal problems, or they break a leg or whatever it might be. They can't afford the veterinary care, so they have to surrender their animals. Well, a few years ago, our head veterinarian, along with some other people, lobbied the state legislature to change the law so we would be able to do those kind of surgeries. And when the law changed, we started raising money. And just last month, we opened up this veterinary clinic. And right now, we expect to be fully open by the end of January. Right now, we're just taking emergency referrals from local vets, but it's a really spectacular area, and it's going to change the way veterinary care is done in this county.
Great.
Yeah.
Patricia, did you have a question, or are you just kind of listening in today? I saw that you said if you had a question, you might ask it.
I don't have a question. I'm overloaded with cats. I adopted 2 from Paws, and they're lovely cats. And then one of the ladies in the building here moved out and left her cat behind, so I adopted him. So I'm kind of just listening in.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't anticipate needing another cat anytime soon.
Could I interest you in a bunny?
No,
We have a few of those and some guinea pigs today too.
yeah,
Um,
they're nice animals, but
they're and going back to the pricing, we also have discounts on the animals that are need medical care going forward, and we provide that, but they're just looking for a home, so there's discounts there. We also have a pretty extensive foster program where
That's what I was going to ask about that next. Go ahead.
yeah, it's a terrific program, and we have a few hundred people that will foster animals. They'll take in kittens that aren't quite old enough to be adopted out yet, or puppies, or animals that need a little extra care. For example, we had a kitten not long ago, 5-week-old kitten that was caught in the timing belt of a pickup truck. And yeah, and he came in, and one paw was mangled pretty bad, but they ended up having to take his leg.
oh,
And he spent some time with a foster family, but he's the fastest little kitten you'll ever see. I never knew a 3-legged kitten could move so fast. And these animals are amazingly resilient. This guy was up and around in the next couple days, and like he didn't even know he was missing a leg. He didn't care. He was having fun. These animals are amazing. And I'll tell you, I'm the communications guy, so I know less about animals than anybody else on campus here. So I'm in constant awe of the veterinary staff and the behavior staff and the animal care staff, and the work they do is just simply amazing. I embarrass them when I tell people in public that I think they're magical, but that's absolutely true. They're amazing people.
so I have a real quick question about fostering. If
Sure.
if a person wanted to foster 1 or 2, whatever, cats in this case, do you provide the litter boxes and all of that kind of stuff, and the food and everything?
Yep. We provide the food, any kind of medical care, any kind of medicines that they might be on. We'll supply everything you need. Yep.
How long do people usually keep them on a foster level?
It depends on the situation. I talked about like kittens and puppies when they first start out. That's generally just a few weeks or a month or so until they're old enough to be adopted out, and a lot of them are being bottle fed still. They're being fed with a bottle.
Oh.
Yeah. And then, but some of the older animals that are in foster, it's generally because they might have an aversion to being around other animals, or we haven't found the right home for them. But the kennel, they're not happy in the kennel. They're afraid of other dogs, or they're afraid of other cats. So we'll put them in foster homes so they're a little more comfortable. Like we have a dog named Domino who's been here for a while, but the behavior staff works with him, and he gets better and better all the time, and he's getting better with strangers, and we'll find a home for him soon. But luckily we've been able to find a great foster home for him to stay in the meantime. And again, these magical volunteers we have and the staff we have, they do amazing things with these animals. To a person, it's an interesting place to work, because it's not like a typical job where everybody's bucking for the next raise or jostling for position. It's very much everyone here, the only thing they care about is the well-being of these animals, and it's a lovely place to be.
Like,
It really, I'm really fortunate to be here. Lovely people doing lovely work.
I'm curious about the funding. I imagine that I know I see on your website you have a few fundraiser activities coming up.
Good.
How does the what are the ways that the Humane Society helps pay for the ongoing you know, general operations as opposed to these larger capital programs that we're just talking about?
A lot of it is from private donations. We have a big fundraising push towards the end of the year, like a lot of nonprofits do. We also do a lot of events. Right now we have, let's see if I can remember all of them right now. We have a comedy show coming up on the 18th of November out at the Kiana Lodge out in Paulsbo. And we've got 4 local comedians that will go up and do a little show, and there's appetizers and things like that. That's on the 18th. It's called Comedy Unleashed. So all the proceeds from that go directly to caring for the animals. We also have an online holiday gift auction that is starting tonight at 5, and it runs through the 19th. But you can go on and do all your holiday shopping online, never have to leave. You don't even have to push the cat off your lap. It's and a lot of really great stuff, a lot of interesting artwork and pet supplies, and some really neat things in the auction. We also do, what's the other thing? Oh, we have Santa Paws coming up, which is we have 4 different locations. The first one is on the 12th. And we have Santa Claus comes out and he'll take pictures with your pets. So makes a pretty great Christmas card. And if this isn't the real Santa, he's a really, really great facsimile.
He kind of fooled you anyway.
He looks the part, man. He's 12-year-old me would have absolutely bought it. So
All right.
yeah,
So that's you can find out more about that. It looks like the first one on November 18th is on your website, but there are others coming up to keep an eye on.
yeah. You can find everything on our website, on our events calendar. In addition to that, we also were fortunate enough, we have a lot of animal lovers in the area that they were so kind to put us in their wills and things like that. We had a lovely woman that was a fan of our organization, that she donated the money to, we're building a garden for people to kind of sit back and reflect after their animals have to be put down. And it's going to be called Poppy's Garden, or Poppy's Memorial Garden. And it's named after her dog Poppy, who and she used to live out on Bainbridge. So lovely woman named Paula Carlson.
Nice.
Yeah, it's an honor to work here.
That's lovely.
Yeah.
And then do you get some support from any governmental agencies or grants or that sort of thing?
We do. We get quite a few grants. The Suquamish tribe, we get grant money from them. We get grant money from Petco. We have a full-time grants person that's all she does is look for grants that we can apply for. And then we also, because of our animal control responsibilities, we have contracts with the city of Bremerton. Well, everybody from Bainbridge out to Gig Harbor. We have contracts with those cities, and we're contracted to do animal control for them.
Sounds like a full plate of activities and and fundraising. Communicating about that is certainly a big job for you.
It's every day is a busy day, but every day is a really rewarding day. It's and when things get a little tough around the office, I've got my kitten living in the office.
There you go.
Well, I was just gonna say, you get your critter fix, right?
Yeah, if I want to walk a dog for half an hour, I'm literally 20 steps away from the kennels. So
oh, what a neat job.
It's great. The first thing I do every morning is I come in and I empty the litter box, and because my office stinks to high heaven, and then make sure the cat's fed and spend a little time with him, and then go over to the kennels and say hi to some of the dogs. And we have one dog, this little beautiful little pit bull named Coda that we bring over to the offices every once in a while. Well, almost every day. But she comes over and she runs up and down the hall, and we play fetch with her, and she's a great little dog. She's just this little friendly ball of muscle. She's the strongest little, you wouldn't believe how small she is and how strong she is at the same time. She drags me around. So, but no, it's just, and you see, I told you the story of Dash, the kitten that caught in the pickup truck, but we have stories like that every day. We had a story the other day of a family that lost their dog 3 months ago, and they had just moved to Seattle, and they have no idea how their dog made it over here to the peninsula, but somehow it did, and it had been in our care for about 3 months, and behavior staff had been working with him and everything, and some people had come in and looked at him for adoption, but he wasn't the right dog for him. And then his family came in, and it was very obvious this was their dog.
Oh my goodness, really?
Yeah, and it was we get stories like that almost every day. It's
Oh, that's beautiful.
We have a lot of beautiful stories here. It's yeah.
Wow.
Well, I want to thank you very much for taking the time to talk to us.
Well, thank you. It's really
and next time you're around, let us know. We'd love to show you around the Senior Community Center here, where we also have a lot of lovely stories every day. If you're looking for information, the website is kitsap-humane.org, or I'm guessing you just search Kitsap Humane and it'll show up on your browser, and find out where and directions and phone number and all that stuff.
great.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so
I'd love
much,
to
Mike.
come out and visit.